Hello everyone, this will be the 9th chapter of Regular Boy Daniel Wayne, written by Diamond Rosie, read by Insect Overlord. This chapter is titled, Oh Hey, Danny, what a strange coincidence. Authorized users only. Wes, we're totally crashing, right? Tucker, obviously, dude. Valerie, I want to meet these people for myself. Valerie, Danny's decision-making skills are questionable at best. Sam, yeah, somehow he's wicked smart and the dumbest guy I've ever met. Sam, we need to shovel talk them. Valerie, so in. Wes, Adam says he's coming too. Me, hey, I'm almost there. Grayson, me and B are in the booth to the right. Danny sent him a thumbs-up emoji before walking inside. He found them easy enough. Sorry, I didn't know you guys were already here. Don't sweat it. Bruce just wanted to memorize the menu before you got here because he's insane like that. Grayson said lightly. He's exaggerating, Bruce said. But not wrong, Grayson said sagely. Bruce scoffed lightheartedly before turning to Danny again. We left on a bit of a sour note yesterday, he said apologetically. I was upset that even though I was introduced to you, I failed to recognize you. If I had been more attentive, then maybe we could have had more time together. As Bruce said all this, he looked straight at Danny, regret and a strange sense of attentiveness in his eyes as he spoke, as if he genuinely cared whether Danny forgave him. You did nothing wrong, and I apologize for giving you that impression. Again, Danny was struck by how much weight Bruce and Grayson seemed to put on his opinions and thoughts. Usually it took a painstaking amount of work on Danny's part for adults to even take him half serious. But here he had only met them once, not counting the mall and pizza thing, and yet they spoke to and treated Danny's words and ideas as if he were an equal. There was a clenching in his chest again, like from last night, this one a bit stronger. Danny felt like he couldn't breathe for a moment. You don't have to forgive me until you feel like it, Danny, Bruce added, a sad smile on his face. Why? Danny didn't understand. Were they trying to trick him into something? Danny's skin burned at the thought. No, it's okay, Danny said quietly. Danny studied Bruce for deception or trickery. If Danny was right and Bruce was Batman, then what would Batman want with Danny? They probably didn't know about Phantom. At least that way, Danny could have an ace up his sleeve if things did go south. Why don't we order? What's good here? Grayson asked, taking Danny's attention. Dick had gone up to order their food, and as he stood in the decent-sized line, he thought about Danny's reaction to Bruce's apology. Dick had made it very clear to Bruce that he needed to give the boy one before they'd come to meet him. Danny was all around a snarky and sarcastic kid, probably pretty smart, too, given the job he landed at 16. But thinking back to what Danny had revealed to them, that they'd met before, his demeanor had seemed to drop entirely when, from Danny's perspective, they had been angry with his answer and therefore at him. After seeing Danny interact with his parents, they were probably dismissive and abusive emotionally, and possibly even physically. Danny had probably never had a stable or trusting relationship with most of the adults in his life growing up, if his apparent association with Vlad was any indication of that. From what Dick could see, there wasn't any adult that Danny felt comfortable around. The clear animosity at Vlad and the bristling and quietness with his parents made it apparent. Then, after Bruce had apologized, Danny seemed almost on edge, or at least suspicious of Bruce and possibly Dick by association. Dick couldn't understand why or what had led to that. Did their reaction leave that bad of an impression? No, that couldn't be it. He had seemed fine after Dick had explained it to him. Did Danny think they were trying to manipulate him or get something out of meeting him? Next in line, the cashier called. The cashier gave him a number for their order, and when Dick got back to his seat, Bruce and Danny seemed to be deep in a conversation about the intricacies of having the Justice League's base be in space. Sorry, am I interrupting? Dick asked teasingly, slipping in next to Bruce. I was just telling Danny how having a space station as a base of operation is a tactical call, Bruce said pointedly. As if! It wasn't a good idea when the JL was just the main 7, But after their expansion project, it's a liability, if not a straight-out disadvantage, Danny scoffed, rolling his eyes. How is it a liability? Dick asked, intrigued. Whenever there's a huge invasion or something, where do you think the evil aliens are going to attack first? The huge space satellite with at least a handful of heroes on it at all times, with state-of-the-art weapons and tech, full of information about literally everything worth having information on, probably has no external defenses because no one would think to sneak into a space station? Seems like a pretty good start. Danny explained. Dick watched Bruce appraise his information. I bet I could get in if I figured out how to get into space. Bruce raised an amused eyebrow at him. You think you could break into the watchtower? Easy, Danny proclaimed, sporting a wicked grin. Before Dick could say anything, someone came up to their table. Danny, the boy Dick recognized as Tucker, said with an exaggerated fake surprise. What a surprise seeing you here, at the Nasty Burger, around 6 o'clock, today. Tucker, what are you doing here? Danny asked, surprised. I was just passing by, Tucker said, shrugging dramatically. Danny gave him an accusing and disbelieving look. My, who are these people here with you, Danny? Tucker asked, sliding into the seat next to Danny. Tucker, you know who they are, Danny said, exasperated, but it seemed like they had more guests. Danny, wow, I wasn't expecting you here. Small world, huh? Sam walked over preppily, which wasn't matching her grunge aesthetic. Her hands hooked with Val's as they walked together. Small world, Val repeated with a fake smile. The two of them sat down next to Danny and Tucker. Danny put his head in his hands. I should have known. You should have. Sam nodded. But you didn't, Val chastised jokingly. Next, another boy dashed into the restaurant, wearing a basketball jersey. You're late, Val said, admonishingly. Tucker and Sam shake their heads, and Danny sighs in exasperation. I literally ran here, Wes said, between huffs of air, slumping in next to Val. The group of teens who had been teasing each other in very strange synchronized action turned their heads to look at Bruce and Dick. Dick was really regretting watching Annabelle last night. I think we'll need more food, Bruce commented lightly. So, Dick, Sam started, munching on a fry. Tell us about yourself. Like what? Dick asked. Valerie, do not call me Val, answered. What do you do? I'm a cop in Bloodhaven. Dick was met with 4 pairs of dubious eyes. Danny sent him a tight-lipped look of disappointment. He wasn't sure whether it was for him or at him. Maybe Dick should look into getting a new day job. Write that down, Sam gestured at Tucker. Already on it, Tucker reported, scribbling something with a stylus. You guys are taking this very seriously, Bruce commented, smiling. It is serious, Tucker responded. What if you guys were some child trafficking ring? Wes commented. Why would they be? Danny started before Wes turned to him and very seriously said, That's exactly the question, Danny. Why would they? Wes thoughtfully turned to look at Bruce warily. You know, let's just dive into the important questions, shall we? Sam asked, her puppy attitude from before gone, replaced by a hard glare at the two of them. It reminded Dick of Titus. What's your opinion on basements? Basements? Bruce repeated, confused. Well, you wouldn't be the first eccentric billionaire to insist Danny be their son, and we've noticed a few patterns. Tucker informed them as if they were talking about something completely normal and mundane, though Dick couldn't really argue. Bruce was also an eccentric billionaire with a secret basement. We do have a basement, Dick said hesitantly. Does that dock us points? He asked Tucker, half joking, half concerned. Tentative. So, what do you do in your basement? Wes asked, sipping on his milkshake. Normal basement things, Dick lied. Such as? Valerie implored, eyes suspicious. Dick hesitated, thinking about what to say. Bruce hadn't said anything either, but Danny took this as a time to tell his friends. Guys, I really don't think that should be a problem. I mean, would someone like Vlad really go for the let's have dinner so my family can meet your family and we can get to know each other approach when the let me drug you and kidnap you and stick you in a cloning pod approach was right there? His friends seemed to consider this before they all nodded and agreed. Vlad Masters drugged and kidnapped you and put you in a cloning pod? Bruce asked, concerned. No, Danny said, offhandedly, not bothering to elaborate. Someone should really look into that guy. OMG, is that Paulina? Wes said pointedly, a menacing grin on his face as he looked at Danny, who in turn looked alarmed. Aw, Danny, you should go say hi, Tucker cooed teasingly. Danny groaned, his ears flushing in embarrassment. Guys, stop, Sam said finally. We wouldn't want another spoon incident. A grin cracked on her face. Danny buried his face in his hands. Dick looked over to see who they were talking about. There were two girls, one with blonde hair with her arms hooked around Quan from the mall, and the other was a darker-skinned girl wearing a pink crop top. Dick wasn't sure who Paulina was, but it didn't really matter, as he took his chance to tease his brother. You have a crush on Paulina? He asked teasingly. Bruce was smiling next to him. No, Danny denied fervently. I mean, I did, like, forever ago, but not anymore. Not since he moved on to more attainable targets. Tucker nodded, receiving a smack from Sam and a spoon in the face from Valerie. Ow, what? It's true. You know what they say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer, Wes added with a snicker. Wes, Danny groaned at the same time as Sam and Valerie hissed his name. I sense a story, Bruce commented, sipping his drink. It all started when we were fresh little freshmen. Danny had a little crush on Paulina. I was just trying to get by, you know? Not all of us have Wayne genes, Tucker said pointedly. What? We didn't even know that till this week, Danny pointed out. Doesn't mean they weren't there, dude. Wes spoke up. Sam and Valerie stayed suspiciously quiet. Dick's smirk only grew. As I was saying, we are just doing normal freshman things when Sammy here, Tucker points at Sam with his hand, starts crushing. Big time. It was not that bad, Sam points out. It was, in fact, that bad, Tucker said, looking at Bruce and Dick. But at the same time, Danny and Val have the little enemies to lovers thing, and they both start crushing on each other. And they dated for a while, but then they broke up because Val had a lot on her plate at the time. Danny was all mopey and heartbroken, and then Sam swoops in like the little knight in glowing armor. Then they start dating. And all the while, I'm here, single and alone. Tucker shakes his head mournfully. I was not all mopey and heartbroken. Danny defends himself. You so were, dude, Tucker says. Yeah, Sam agrees. But then Sam and Danny decide they're a lot better off as friends because Danny kind of has a lot to deal with, and now we're all best friends, Tucker concluded cheerfully. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, huh, Bruce? Dick says slyly. Bruce huffed. Then what about the spoon incident? Bruce added. Oh, that was back when there were a lot of ghost attacks, and the school had my parents come in and run security. And this was one time we were having lunch outside, and they just showed up out of nowhere, and I kind of got spooked, and Danny's voice trailed off for a moment, and Dick couldn't quite catch the last bit. Sorry, what was that? He said he swallowed his spoon. Wes spoke up. What? Bruce asked, alarmed. Are you okay? Oh yeah, I got it out. Danny waved dismissively. How? Dick asked, confused. I just did. He waved again. Before Dick could ask any more questions, someone else decided to show up. Oh, good. I thought I missed you guys. Another redhead boy showed up. Hi, I'm Adam, Wes's brother. Dick recognized the accent the boy had. He stuck out his hand for Dick to shake. Dick, nice to meet you. Bruce. I should apologize for intruding. These guys probably just barged in, Adam said, looking at the kids pointedly, no real heat behind his eyes. It's no problem, really. I'm just glad I got to meet Danny's friends. They all seem to get along great. Bruce smiled at him as he pulled up a nearby chair to join the group. I wasn't sure how long you guys would be staying, so I thought I'd show my face before I had to leave for college. I imagine we'll be seeing a lot of each other, Adam said pleasantly. Oh, where do you go to college? Bruce asked. Gotham U. I'm going to start my second year for mechanical and chemical engineering. Adam munched on a stolen fry from Wes's plate. Is that why we'll be seeing a lot of each other? Dick asked with a laugh. Oh, I guess that too. Adam nodded. I meant 'cause Danny and Wes are dating. There was a singular beat of silence before the aforementioned boys looked at Adam with absolute shock. What? Adam blinked. Well, I mean, you never told me, but it was pretty obvious. What? What was obvious? Wes asked in indignation. It's okay, we don't mind or anything, Dick started. We're not dating! Danny cut him off. Danny turned to look at his other friends for support, but they seemed to recede into themselves. You guys thought we were dating? Well, you never exactly told me that you and Sam started dating. I thought we were just gonna roll with it. Dude, the entire school thinks you're dating, or long-lost twins, Valerie interjects to Danny and Wes's horror. Or twins that are dating, Sam added helpfully. Wait, so you're not dating? Adam asked, confused. No! But Danny comes over all the time. To hang out! And to avoid my parents. You used to follow him around everywhere. You specifically wrote in your calendar, Danny time, so often that you abbreviated it to DT. I thought you just had a crush on him. You wrote that in your calendar? Danny asked, turning to Wes. Well, Wes tried. I don't have a crush on him. His face lit up in embarrassment. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with... Adam tried. I do not like him, Wes stressed. I barely tolerated him. For the record, Danny and Val hated each other too. Not helping, foolie. Wes glared. Okay. Adam nodded thoughtfully. I sense I've made an error. Error? I have to go do things somewhere else. Bye, Adam said, standing up. Nice to meet you, and bolted out the door. Wes glared at his brother. So, Valerie whistled. Danny and Wes looked at each other, shuddered, and looked away. Dick couldn't help the laugh that escaped him, the others soon joining in. Is there somewhere else you'd like to go, Danny? I'd be happy to spend more time with you. You can invite your friends if you feel more comfortable, Bruce asked him as they walked out of Nasty Burger after everyone else had left. Danny hadn't been expecting that. He looked at Bruce, who had stopped outside the door. When do you guys have to go back? He asked tentatively. When you get sick of us, Dick joked. There was a meaningful look in his eyes that told Danny he really meant it. Or you decide you'd like to come back with us, Bruce offered softly. But it's your decision. Danny had been suspicious earlier, but there was definitely something strange happening. Not only are they skipping their day jobs for seemingly indefinite amount of time, but they're skipping their heroing too. For what? It couldn't just be for him. Last time someone had decided to take that much time off for him, they went to Chicago. There's a planetarium a while out of town. I like to go to it sometimes. Sure, we can go. It's a bit of a trip, Danny added. Should we pick you up then, after school tomorrow? Danny thought for a second before answering. Vlad had tried the generous rich guy approach, and how did that turn out? He'd feel them out, maybe push their buttons. If there was one thing rich people hated, it was someone wasting their time. I have to work tomorrow, so I don't think I can, Danny lied, letting his voice sound regretful. They're kinda strict, especially since I'm kind of the youngest. Bruce frowned slightly. Bullseye. That's too bad, Grayson said. When are you free then? A bit of a hard nut, but even diamonds break under pressure. The day after should be fine. Then we'll pick you up from school, since that's far. Where do you go? Bruce asked. He was probably jumping at the chance to get Danny to an isolated place to do whatever he was planning. Casper High. It's late. How about we drive you home? Richard Grayson stepped out of the shower, the sun shining beautifully through the half-parted curtains of his room. Richard picked up his phone to check for any notifications. There's one from Danny. Littlest Duckling. Hey, I just talked to my boss, and he said I'm good for today. Richard chuckled at Daniel's code-adjacent text, and let Daniel know that they would be there to get him from school. Bruce, Danny said we're on for today, Richard announced as he stepped into the kitchen to pour himself some coffee. I was doing round search of all the mechanic places here and found the one that Danny works at. We should have an inspection run to make sure everything is up to code. Bruce Wayne spoke from his spot at the dining table. Good morning to you too, Richard sighs before sitting down next to Bruce. Do you think they discriminate against Danny for being the youngest? He said his boss was hard on him. Bruce spoke again, busy on his laptop. Richard and Bruce go about their morning, completely unaware of the invisible spirit of Phantom spying on them. This concludes Chapter 9 of Regular Boy Daniel Wayne by Diamond Rosie. I hope you enjoyed this one. I thought that the whole thing about Wes and Danny dating was pretty funny. The next chapter should be up soon. Thank you so much for listening.